Breaking news now on Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Beginning the school year with gun violence is not only traumatizing for the kids, it really sets back education.
Now at 6, 2 children are dead and more than a dozen others are hurt after a shooter opened fire at a Minneapolis Catholic school. The gunman then turned the gun on themselves. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden. Officials identified the shooter as 23-year-old Robin Westman. We're told their mother worked at the school. Flags across the nation and here in Connecticut are at half staff right now to honor the 10-year-old and the 8-year-old killed. We just learned a little more than an hour ago all injured children are expected to survive at this point. As for the investigation, the FBI director says this shooting will be investigated as domestic terrorism and a hate crime targeting Catholics. Fox 61's Tim Lammers breaks down what unfolded at Annunciation Catholic School this morning.
There are no words that can capture the horror and the evil of this unspeakable act. Children are dead.
Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara said the shooter carried a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol.
A gunman approached on the outside, on the side of the building, and began firing a rifle through the church windows towards the children sitting in the pews at the Mass.
One witness told the Associated Press that he heard as many as 50 gunshots over the course of 4 minutes.
This was a deliberate act of violence against innocent children and other people worshiping.
First responders found the gunman dead shortly after converging on the school.
The coward who fired these shots ultimately took his own life in the rear of the church.
Chief O'Hara said the shooter does not have an extensive known criminal history and said it's still too early to know what the shooter's motive was or if he was carrying those 3 guns legally. Again, 2 children died, and of the 17 hurt, some of them were critically injured and many of them are children.
Every one of us needs to be wrapping our arms around these families, and the amount of pain that they are suffering right now is extraordinary.
Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry called for action.
And don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church.
Chief O'Hara said detectives are processing the car that the gunman left behind. He said 2 church doors were blocked with what appears to be 2x4s, but they don't yet know if the shooter did that or someone else. Now, this shooting happened less than a day after 1 person was killed and 6 more were hurt in a shooting outside a high school in the same city.
The Newtown Action Alliance released a statement following the shooting. It reads in part, quote, "As the neighbor of the Sandy Hook shooter, I know all too well the terror that leaves communities scarred forever. My heart breaks for the families in Minneapolis experiencing this unimaginable nightmare. 2 innocent children brutally struck down during a mass in a place meant for peace, not violence." You'll find more coverage of the deadly shooting on our free Fox 61 app. Use the QR code there on your screen to download it or go to fox61.com 24/7. We learned the names of the 2 men killed in a shooting Monday in New Haven. Investigators tell us a fight among a group of men escalated into a shooting on Dickerman Street. Daquan Hyman of East Haven and Ernest Williams of New Haven were shot around 2:15 in the afternoon. Hyman died shortly after arriving at the hospital, and Williams died a couple of hours later. Police haven't made any arrests yet. Call police if you can help with the investigation. A state investigation has cleared a Colchester police officer in last year's deadly shooting of a man who allegedly pointed a shotgun at him during a confrontation. Fox 61's Raven Blue breaks down the Inspector General's report.
Connecticut's Office of the Inspector General has ruled a deadly police shooting in Colchester last year was justified. On the evening of April 18, 2024, Colchester Police Constable Kirilis Wasif fired a single shot, killing 33-year-old Jared Billard. Now the Inspector General has released their findings into the investigation of the police-involved shooting. They report Wasif acted in self-defense after Billard pointed a shotgun at him. Officers had responded to reports that Billard, a landlord, had been acting erratically and threatened a tenant with throwing knives earlier that day. When police approached approached Billard's basement apartment, they heard him rack a shotgun. Billard then opened the door and aimed it at Officer Wasif, who fired one round, shooting Billard in the chest. Billard was taken to the hospital where he died. Along with the report, the Inspector General's office released body camera footage from 2 officers, including Wasif. You can find the full details of the report on our website, fox61.com. In Colchester, Raven Blue, Fox 61.
Right, firefighters released the name of the man who died in a house fire Monday in Southington. Crews found a 74-year-old Stephen Chapin dead in his Chaffee Lane home around 2:30 in the morning. Officials say they still don't know what caused the fire, but they have ruled out arson. Flames burned many parts of the home. The neighbors we spoke with say Chapin was a veteran who served in Vietnam, and he was often seen walking his dog. All right, just coming into the newsroom now, officials say an inmate attacked a correctional officer at Cheshire Correctional Institution Monday. We're told the inmate poured hot coffee over the officer and then assaulted him with a makeshift weapon during mealtime. The inmate also hurt 3 other officers while they tried to restrain him. We reached out to Department of Corrections for comment, and we're waiting to hear back. Well, the Connecticut Department of Transportation has announced some big plans to replace the Mixmaster in Waterbury, also known as the I-84 Route 8 interchange. The construction plans would update the interchange to be more modern. Fox 61's Alicia Hercules spoke with the Department of Transportation and has more on the plans up for consideration.
The Department of Transportation estimates that this construction could cost up to $5 billion.
We're going to try to eliminate some of the congestion that people are frustrated with and reduce some of the crashes that we're seeing, because there's a crash there about every single day.
Josh Morgan, the Director of Communications for the Department of Transportation, says the Mixmaster, also known as the I-84 and Route 8 interchange, is outdated and needs to be replaced to make the area safer.
Really, this was an engineering marvel of its time in the 50s and 60s when it was built, sort of stacking and intertwining these highways together. It no longer meets the needs of Connecticut commuters and the greater Waterbury community.
After years of developing construction plans, the DOT has come up with 2 ways they could replace the Mixmaster. Both ways would unstack the highway and make it a more traditional interchange where eastbound and westbound traffic would be next to each other. Currently, I-84 westbound goes underneath I-84 eastbound. One of the plans is called the Modern Crossover Interchange, where the Route 8 structures would be reconstructed east of the Naugatuck River on the west riverbank. The other idea is called the Naugatuck River Shift.
Like it sounds, to actually be us moving the Naugatuck River to accommodate the new highway interchange, and really that would unlock future potential, whether as recreational activities, maybe some development closer to the river.
With this plan, Route 8 structures would stay on the west side of the river. Both plans are expected to last for at least 75 years. The plans are moving forward to the National Environmental Policy Act to be further evaluated. The Department of Transportation doesn't expect construction to begin for another 10 years. However, they will continue doing smaller breakout projects on the Mixmaster to improve safety until construction begins. In Waterbury, Alicia Hercules, Fox 61.
Well, 3 people were sent to the hospital this morning, including a young patient, after a rollover crash in Westport. Officials say it happened on Riverside Avenue around 7:45 this morning. It's unclear what caused the crash. 5 cars were damaged. The road was closed in both directions for some time, but it has since reopened. And officials have identified the woman who died in a crash on Route 17 in Portland Saturday morning. Officers tried to stop 29-year-old Abigail Mann of Meriden after they heard from other drivers that she was seen slumped over. We're told she drove off, and then around 11:45 in the morning, Mann lost control and crashed into another car. She died at the scene. 2 other people got hurt. We don't know their conditions tonight. And the business of back to school was on full display in East Hartford, and local leaders mean business when it comes to kids' safety on and off the bus. And today they stressed efforts to raise awareness when it comes to staying alert on Connecticut roads. Here's Fox 61's Jim Altman.
Well, the lesson plan also includes adults in East Hartford. School is in, so they're getting their message out.
Back to school. So what's front and center?
kid safety.
Our message is that we need the help from everybody to keep our kids safe when they come to and from school, and to really be mindful so that they can come in and do all the incredible things that they do with us every day.
The efforts in East Hartford are meant to reverberate across the state. And as classes begin, so too has a lesson plan for all drivers.
We want people to change their behavior. We want people to be safe. We want them to be aware.
At Pitkin Elementary, state leaders are offering a bit of driver's ed for adults.
Their safety depends on your attention.
The DOT and Amy Watkins from Watch From ECT are steering that message.
Surprisingly, people pass stop school buses. It blows my mind that that could happen, but we need people to completely stop when they see a school bus with its lights flashing and the stop arm out.
What's speeding up? The fines for those who don't follow the road rules.
Passing a stopped school bus will result in a $475 fine just for the first offense, and it does not require a police officer to witness.
And with hundreds of thousands of students now on the street, the added advice is better to be late than unsafe.
Bus safety is everybody's business, and it can be a matter of life and death for kids. And maybe most important to all the drivers, put your phone down.
Drive slow, be alert, stay off your phone, and keep an eye out for those kids.
And as a postscript to this, we want to point you in the direction of the Watch For Me CT website. We have a link to that on fox61.com and on our news app. In East Hartford, Jim Altman, Fox 61.